Well, it's dark outside, but you just got to keep going when you're on the homestead. You just got these things that you were going to do whenever it was raining or dark or the days got shorter, whatever. Not a whole lot going on outside right now, and so I thought I would make a colloidal silver generator. Lisa and I have decided that we want a decent amount of colloidal silver on hand. We're going to start by making a quart. We're going to try to make a quart, see how it turns out. We want to have this on hand to be able to give to our goats as they get colds or get sick or whatever might happen, or even to the dog, even to ourselves if we need to. So I've done some research. This is going to be my first time doing this. I'm not an expert on it by any means. I'm just going to let our subscribers and people that view our channel watch me make this first one, and we'll decide together whether it's a fail or a success. I'm going to do it based on the research that I've done and see how it turns out. I've picked a charger, a wall wart charger that is 12 volts, 100 milliamps. I'm sorry, 1,000 milliamps. And if I'm not mistaken, 1,000 milliamps is the same as an amp. So we're going to try this one first. The other one that I have here is a half amp, but we're going to try the 1 amp first. I've already made up the black lead just to save a little bit of time on the video. Basically what we're going to do is we cut the end off of this wall wart charger, and it doesn't matter whether, even though these are marked positive and negative, the one with the white dashes on it would be positive. It's not going to make any difference which one of these has a red or a black, because all you're going to do is clamp it on separate individual rods. So I have 0.999% pure colloidal silver rods that I ordered online, 6-inch rods. And I have a mason jar with a plastic lid. This is going to be important so there's not conductivity between the electricity and a metal lid. So basically I'm just going to talk you through it. And so to drill the hole that we'll have eventually in this lid, I wanted to know what the right size drill bit was. I wanted it to be the same size as these rods. So what I did was I took this gauge that I had out in my shop and I figured out which drill bit, it's a 16th inch drill bit, is just a perfect drill bit for that. So I picked out 1/16 inch drill bit out of my drill bit kit. So I've kind of got everything ready and sitting here waiting for us. I've already used my knife and split this wire in two. And like I said, I already made the black one up, so you'll just watch me make the red one up. I'll slide this insulator for the alligator clamp on there. And then this alligator clamp is kind of tedious work, but you'll strip just enough insulation off the wire, twist that wire down to be able to slip this in the alligator clamp. And this is tedious work for a guy who wears glasses and has bifocals in his glasses. Sometimes it's better if they're on, sometimes it's better if they're off. This time, in this type of situation, it's better if they're off. This is why I made the black one up first, to save a little bit of time, because it takes me a little while to wrestle this stuff around. See, you can laugh at me while I'm doing it, with my eyes adjusting and my big fingers and little work. We'll get that clamp down good. I'm going to try to do this without my tongue hanging out my mouth. My wife always lets me know, Lisa lets me know, that when I do this kind of work, I usually have my tongue hanging out my mouth. So since I'm on video, I'm going to have to be careful. Hopefully, maybe not to do that. So, voila, that's what you got right there. I'll set this aside. I ordered this online. I actually found it on eBay. And it's basically two 6-inch rods that are 0.999% pure silver, 14 gauge, and it gives the breakdown on it there. So that just that's good verification that I've got what I want. So now we're going to drill some holes in the lid. This really, if this works out the way they say it does, this is so fast and so simple and so easy to do. There's a couple of different ways to test, the silver, and I haven't really decided yet exactly how I'm going to test it, but I'm understanding that you're going to see this working right away in the jar. So we're going to make one hole without drilling through Miss Lisa's wonderful table. and then I want to make sure that they're just the right distance apart. So I'll drill that hole, and then I'll drill me another hole. I want to keep them far enough apart that they don't touch inside there. If these wires touch inside the jar while it's plugged in, then you're going to short out the wire and you're going to trip a breaker in the house, and then it won't be making colloidal silver for you. So we want to keep them spread out just a little bit. And like I said, I'm not an expert on this, but I did read on one article that these are supposed to be a little bit close together because there's a reaction takes place between the two. I don't know if that's true. There's probably going to be plenty of comments. This is the type of thing right here I'm learning on YouTube, that if you do these videos, there'll probably be a lot of comments. Hey, that's 1,000 milliamps is not actually an amp. You might tell me exactly what that actually is. Or you shouldn't use the 1 amp, you should use the half amp, or you should use this charger, that charger. I welcome all of those comments. I do always ask that you please be kind on your comments, because I'm admitting right now I've never done this before. But somebody might give some comments and give me some good ideas or suggestions or see things that I've done that'll make it easier for me next time. So basically, these, ooh, they fit nice and tight. I like that. Right down in there. Put the other one down in there. And the reason you want that drill bit right is so that these things hold without sliding all over the place. So we'll do that, and that'll end up in the jar. Isn't that wonderful? Isn't that just wonderful? We'll slide it on down in there. Now, I do have, I purchased, actually Lisa purchased, distilled water. It has to be distilled water. I don't know the science behind it. I don't know the reasoning, but not just purified water, distilled water. I have read some articles that said you can use straight tap water, and I'm glad to know that since we're all homesteaders, because someday you might not be able to get this. However, look at that. I fixed it. Warm. However, there are some kickbacks to that, and I think it has to do with the different minerals and stuff that are in it, and it'll dirty up the stuff, and I know there's ways to filter it and screen it, things like that. But anyway, you can do tap water. It's just not, I don't want to say if it's as safe or what. I really don't know. I haven't done the research. I haven't looked into it. I just know I was told to use this. So since I want the first batch to work, we're going to use this. How about I back up and say it that way? All right, so we're going to put the water in here. Pretty water. I'll call that enough. Nice, pretty little handle on that. How cool. All right, I got water all over the table, but that's all right. And then we will put the lid down on it. Let's see. Let's pull them together just a little bit. Let's bend them just a little bit. I don't know if there's something to having them closer together, but let's put our best foot forward right up front, shall we? We're going to do that, just like that. And then what happens here is one clamp, like I said, it doesn't matter if it's red or black, it doesn't matter if positive or negative, because you're not connected down here. It doesn't make any difference. So we're going to clamp this one on here. We're going to clamp this one. Almost stuck my tongue out, I could tell. I felt it. Almost happened. You probably caught me. All right, then we're going to go plug this into the wall. We'll look at it over there where we plug it in, and we'll see kind of how things go. My understanding is we should start seeing some bubbles off of the silver right away. Well, we're in another section of the lab here. We're going to plug this in and see what happens. I don't expect anything crazy. All right, it's plugged in. I'm going to take my glasses off and take a little closer look here and tell you if I see anything as soon as those heat up. One guy had a video out about this. I'd even tell you who it was if I could remember, but I can't remember. And he said right away he started seeing bubbles. But he might have had a more high-powered plug-in charger than I do. UV rays, I understand, can kill this stuff pretty fast. So they don't recommend you using the clear jars. They recommend you using the amber colored jars to store this stuff in, or put it in a plastic bag or dark cabinet or something like that. I don't see anything happening right now. I know I've seen this stuff set as much as 3 hours on different forums and things before they started seeing some differences. So we'll come back and check on it later. So we're back. I checked the time when we first plugged this in. It was 8 o'clock p.m. Now it's 9 o'clock p.m. So 1 hour, and I came back and checked on it. And Lisa's going to zoom in with another camera, but it's really cool because it has some metallic, almost looks like metal shavings. If you could think of some metal shavings that sticks to a magnet, it's got some metallic shavings sticking off the back side of that right electrode, and everything coming off of it looks like spider web. And coming straight off the bottom of the rod, that spider web looking brown color goes down and touches the bottom of the jar, and it's starting to spread out on the bottom of the jar. So anyway, that's 1 hour. Now I'm going to stir it. Just see what, I think I should touch these 2 wires here. Probably not. Okay. Wow, it's not hardly changing or moving. Reckon I'll just leave it alone from that point. Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know how long I'll leave it on there. I guess I'll leave it on and go to bed. We'll keep you updated. So I decided to leave the colloidal silver, would you call it brewing? I decided to leave it overnight. We put it in at 8 o'clock last night. It's 6 a.m. right now. Look at all of that stuff, whatever that is, hanging on that rod. I'm going to take it out and I'm going to stir it really good, and I'm going to filter it through a unbleached coffee filter, and then put it in a dark place to store it. And that is how we made our own Homestead homemade colloidal silver. We've got about a quart jar full of homemade product. We wrapped it in black cloth, put it in a dark closet, let it sit there for about 1 week. We'll show you a picture here in just a moment of the final product. I have about $17 invested in the silver rods, and those silver rods, I understand, will make colloidal silver for a long, long time. Very inexpensive. Thank you for watching.